As you just saw, this is an article written in 1996. Much has happened since then. The California Judicial Council got its wish. Check out Bird, B-U-R-D, versus Barkley court reporting case. It forces California freelance court reporting agencies to charge only what on-staff paid court reporters charge for transcripts, and no more exorbitant appearance fees either. When a freelance court reporter is hired by a private law firm in civil cases to be assigned as the pro tem court reporter, they are indeed pro tem official court reporter in that capacity, says the Court of Appeals. Therefore, they cannot charge their outrageous fees. They must only charge what would be charged by California statute. For those of you who do not know, I worked with Professor Fred Lederer in May 2012. He and Tony Douglas, president and CIO of FTR, were demonstrating to the Fairfax County Courthouse in Northern Virginia Tony's live copy software. I was at home in my office. It could just as easily have been 2,500 miles away or 12 time zones away. As I said, I was at home in my office, and Courtroom 5J's audience was attended by federal and state court judges and courthouse technocrats from all over North America. I was able to hear and take note of who was speaking because the mics in Courtroom 5J were electronically tagged, so I knew who mic 1 was, mic 2, and so on, and the live copy showed me which mics were being used. What was more fascinating is I was able to adjust the speed of each speaker who approached the podium to address the collective audience. For instance, if someone were speaking over 225 words per minute, I could slow them down in real time to 120 words per minute, and the pitch of their voices remained constant. In the top right quadrant, I just turned on Dragon Naturally Speaking, version 15, and right out of the box, I am voice typing faster than most common PC keyboardists. So let's put those disadvantaged to work, shall we? As I said, I was at home in my office, and Courtroom 5J's audience was attended by federal and state court judges and courthouse technocrats from all over North America. I was able to hear and take note of who was speaking because the mics in Courtroom 5J were electronically tagged, so I knew who mic 1 was, mic 2, and so on, and the live copy showed me which mics were being used. What was more fascinating is I was able to adjust the speed of each speaker who approached the podium to address the collective audience. For instance, if someone were speaking over 225 words per minute, I could slow them down in real time to 120 words per minute, and the pitch of their voices remained constant. Imagine the physically challenged working from home. Yes, a paraplegic trained how to use Dragon Naturally Speaking out of the box for under $200, delivering delayed real-time transcripts streaming back to the courtroom, keeping up with everyone. Hence, as the steno machine market is ever shrinking and no longer cost-effective, these homebound trained voice writers use their ears and mouths talking into a high-quality USB headset while listening to the very high-quality radio television streaming audio, adjusting speed at will, as well as inserting the Q&A for the question and the answer and the speaker during colloquy mode, a great feature that even today's Otter.ai is not yet able to do. But that is coming. You can count on it, all because of ever-enhanced AI. Nobody wants to learn the steno mask, just like 98% of youngsters do not want to learn the steno machine. One is much better off being trained how to relax, breathe normally, hands-free to manipulate the PC keyboard when only necessary. The Sennheiser Office Runner is wireless, up to 400 feet. This is great for lawyers, by the way, walking about the cavernous courtrooms there are still in America, and the last one is a very lightweight boom mic for our disabled Americans looking to be trained as delayed real-time transcribers. The device USB connected to the PC. So now we're going to introduce Otter.ai by AiSense, 100% automated transcription with uncanny accuracy. Otter.ai, by the way, is working on adding Q&A and speaker ID for colloquy in real time, but that will take some time. In the meantime, listen and watch the verbatim transcript that someday will be splashing on your smart device no matter where you are or in your PC in the courtroom.
And you also do the dialysis work?
I do.
Is that full-time?
What do you mean by full-time?
When judges, lawyers, and witnesses decide to love their microphones, then incredible real-time transcription will become commonplace.
Well, it typically means 40 hours a week, something like that?
I wish I worked 40 hours a week. And so does my family.
So the question's still out there. Do you work?
I work a great deal of hours every week.
To set up Otter.ai in the cloud for one courtroom for 1 month is $160, giving that courtroom's email account 12,000 minutes. That's 10 hours on the record for each 20 working days a month.
Okay, how many hours do you work in dialysis?
Here's an example of a DTE, digital text editor. No matter where they are, in the courtroom as a technologist that Professor Lederer referred to, or working online from home, Otter.ai's streaming transcript is captured by the DTE, including the streaming sound they are simultaneously capturing. Start editing the real-time output so that by the time court adjourns for lunch and at the end of the day, within a few minutes, the certified final official transcript is now in the hands of the judge and the lawyers. The cost, literally peanuts.
You know, I'm not being glib, but the real answer is I see every patient every week, and I work as long as I need to. It's variable. Sometimes it's many, many hours. Sometimes it's less hours.
Approximately how many hours a week do you work in dialysis?
I don't know. I couldn't quantify that, sir.
Well, not peanuts, but close, compared to fees charged today. Let me explain. A whole morning session in court might be 150 pages. Courts start typically at 8:30 in the morning and run into about 12:30 p.m. for lunch, resuming 1 hour later, most times running to 5 p.m., and some judges work beyond that.
I don't keep track of that.
You can't give me a range?
I really can't. I honestly, I don't count them. I don't track them.
Is there a reason why?
Today, when lawyers order daily copy, and that means delivery only by tomorrow morning, hopefully before court starts, the cost is $7 per page. That is $1,050 just for the morning session. For the afternoon, add another $1,050, so the total is now $2,100. But that's just for the transcript for one side, the original order. We are not factoring in the cost for a copy sale to the other side, which could be another $3 per page, bumping up the grand total to $3,000.
It's so difficult for you to answer my questions and it was so easy for you to answer Mr. Chernoff's?
Objection argumentative. Sustained. You need not respond. Your next question, Mr. Wall?
You can't answer how many hours you work in dialysis. Is that correct?
What you're asking me is extremely nonspecific, and I'm telling you honestly, I don't measure.
The term court reporter will disappear by 2030. That generation will not know what a court reporter was unless it's a member of the press that covers courthouse trials. This is the courtroom technologist that Professor Fred Lederer referred to. They will be thoroughly trained on the hardware and software of the day, such as Otter.ai and how it works, making sure that their judge, the lawyers, and the jury are able to view the real-time transcript, even the online press who also want to capture the real-time trial testimony to forward to their readership.
How many hours did you work in dialysis last week?
I don't know.
I was specific.
I was at the dialysis unit Monday morning and afternoon, Tuesday for a few hours, Friday for a few hours.
When Otter.ai becomes the de facto tool that the courthouse campus uses, the clerks of courts, for the first time, will have the awesome task of deciding whether they are going to charge the litigants a per page or a per minute fee for the technologists, former stenos, to wirelessly stream Otter.ai's real-time transcript with all of its inherent benefits, and for the first time in recorded history, no pun intended here, makes Otter.ai a profit center for the courthouse campus.
That's my typical week. Sometimes I go on Thursdays, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go on Tuesdays, sometimes I don't.
Would you agree that in the field of addiction medicine, that it needs to be confronted as a real clinical disease with very real clinical roots?
It's absolutely a brain disease, and it needs to be treated as such.
And that's one of the reasons why, to competently handle it, you should have experience to handle it, correct?
I believe you're exactly correct. Experience is really important.